Alright, the Avalanche is back, and it's finally getting this new transfer case. I'm going to try to make this really quick because I don't feel like doing this. I really don't feel like working today. This is a brand hammer new transfer case from Riley's Auto. Who made this freaking thing? Power Torque, I guess. Core assembly. Please attach this to CAG core. I don't want to get the name wrong of the production, the company that produces this. I don't know. Actually, let me see. I'm not sure who makes this. I have to call and find out, but I think this is not important right now. But this transfer case was around $1,400. It's supposed to come with a 3-year warranty. Hopefully, I shouldn't have to utilize that warranty or anything. But it's got new housing. I'm pretty sure all internals are brand new. Of course, it's a reman unit. There's no sensors, so I'm gonna have to install all the old sensors on here. And there's no damn, what do they call that thing? The encoder motor. So I have to use the old one on here. Hopefully that's not engulfed with oil like the other one. Also, it doesn't come with any fluid, so I had to buy a couple quarts of differential transfer case fluid, and that's the fill port right there. It would be nice if I could fill it up and just lift it up and put it in there, but yeah, that's not going to happen. No gasket, so they don't come with anything. I'm gonna make sure that doesn't come with nothing. So you spend all this money and you get nothing. What is this? Remanufactured unit, chargeback guide. So I don't know. So either way, we're gonna work on getting this transfer case out and go by step and get this bare unit back in there. So kind of sucks for me. There's certain other places that I could have got this transfer case from that would have came with oil and gaskets, but took my chances with going with the place that I spend a lot of money with, and this is what I got. So just a bare naked unit. So let's get this installed. Truck is in neutral. All 4 wheels are off the ground. This is 11 millimeters. I'm moving the drive shaft. Put everything on a nice little landmark below. I'm not one of those guys that are very particular about how drive shafts need to be oriented. It's not that serious. A drive shaft is common sense. It's balanced. It needs to go in however it decides to go in. So I'm gonna pull it forward, move it down. As far as having a pail or bucket, I want to take my risk. I don't think anything's gonna come out. Actually, and nothing came out. So put the drive shaft down, and damn, that thing smells straight up burnt. Golly. Because I remember, if you looked at the old video, you'll see that it was all burnt up. There's a connector here. My speed sensor I'm going to pull off. That's there. And I'm just going to, it's very simple. I mean, this transfer case came out, I did a couple of these, so this has came out before, and this really smells really burnt. But I'm going to get the, so I got some of the sensors removed in the back here, just various speed sensors. Let me get an aerial view of that. Just the input-output speed sensor. You have the what's it called? In the encoder motor, got to come out. The sensor, the connector. Sorry, got to come out. And those are pretty much the basic sensors that got to come out. So next, I'll remove the front drive shaft. The front shaft here. Now, normally you would put a pan back here, and I am going to drain the fluid what's in here, but it's been leaking for a while, so I mean, that's the reason why the transfer case burnt up. They tend to leak on the housing over here, and that'll cause the oil to either drip or either venture its way back towards the bumper. The front drive shaft here, just put a pry bar between the yoke itself against the oil pan, it's totally fine. Just break them loose. Just run them off. Now when so I'm going to pull the dry shaft in and just get it at an angle where I can move it up. It'll just barely fit in a little corner here. I'm gonna go back to the other end and knock it straight to where it'll just rest over here in a little corner, so it's not going to hurt anything. I totally forgot I needed to remove that oxygen sensor upstream there, so I broke it, and it's gotta come out my pocket. But remove this left side upstream sensor here, and life should be a lot easier as far as getting this dry shaft. But it's broken, it's coming out my pocket. Life sucks. But you know, just it is what it is. It's just a little distraction from recording, so it happens. Damn it, did I lay in that? Oh, fuck. Laid in grease. There's an 18 here and an 18 up top there. You're going to have to use a socket and a box stand wrench up top here. So there's 1, 2, there's the mounts here. Those are 15s. And then there's, for this vehicle, there's 2 more here. So you'll be able to take this cross member here down. There's a little safety bar here that goes under the cross member. These are 15s. You want to pull those out too. So these are just going to ensure that if something was to happen with the cross member, it's got something else to support. So I'm just going to pull one side out and leave the other side in. Alright, ideally, because I'm not perfect, and I don't want to leave out some safety information, but ideally you want to support the transmission with like a block, keep it some pressure on it so all of it wouldn't be on that cross member. So that's a step that I totally missed. But yeah, I'll do that once I get everything back in, and even when I pull it out, I'm going to have the transmission sit up as far as I can to the chassis. I'm sorry, to the cabin. But I'm going to use this space here to take out the bolts for the transfer case. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this mount here, which is going to be a 15 on each side. Get this mount out, and then I'll just pull those bolts around the housing. These are going to be 15mm bolts also. I do have my longer one, just in case. So I just need to break them loose. There we go. So I'll break the ones that are hard to access loose and remove those and leave the easier ones on the side. For when I get my pan underneath here, because there's going to be transmission fluid dripping out and you take it all the way loose. So I got the jack and some wood under the transmission. All the bolts are removed around the transfer case for the exception of this one here. I'm going to get my pan, put it on the bottom so to catch the fluid from the transmission, let it drain out. When I get the transfer case loose, I'm going to let it rest on this cross member here, and then I can fully remove the front drive shaft or front axle here. And it was my fault, I forgot. I know I had a different way I did it last time because the exhaust is just so big on this 8.1 liter. And you know, mistakes happen. Hopefully I got a used oxygen sensor sitting in the back. I'm gonna look through my miscellaneous pile here and see if I got one. If not, then I'll just put a aftermarket on here. So cheapest way but fixed possible. You know, it'll still be done right. Damn, I just hate that I screwed up something. This is one of those days. That's what it feels like. So let's get this fluid drain and get this pulled back. Alright, got this last one here, and I'm about to remove this. That was dumb. Move this last one. It's gonna crack like an egg. Fluid's gonna come out like so. I'm gonna leave it halfway in there and break it loose. Let the fluid drain out. So make sure the harness and everything's out the way. The transmission's far as up it'll go. When I get it far enough back, I'll just try to let the shaft rest in a safe position and finish removing the front drive shaft here. Then I could finish removing it all the way. Get it sitting off to the side here. Once that comes to a trickle, remove the transfer case. Glad I lift weights for a living. Damn it, boy. Alright, so here they are both side by side. And I'm simply just going to take off every sensor I see and transfer it to the new unit. And other than that, I mean, it's basic transferring of parts. So here's some of the input-output speed sensors and speed sensors here. And of course the encoder motor. So I'm not sure exactly the technical names for which one, but I mean they all are just revolutionary sensors. Nothing, just 2-pin connectors, that's all they are. So it just generates a signal as the reluctor wheel rotates, so nothing special. Other than that, it happens, you know, break stuff, and I just gotta take it out my end, replacing the parts here, and I'll just put a new one in there because I don't feel like dealing with the headache of finding another part. I've been putting using on there and it not working, so I'd rather take my chance with a new part. And you know, it's not like I don't have job security. So cough it up and I'll move on. But other than that, I'll just get the footage of me putting this joker back in. I mean, it's not that heavy. You know, you get a good position to bench press it up. I mean, it's, you know, but I can understand how difficult it can be. When I pulled the one originally, I did put anti-seize on the inside of the splines to make life a lot easier when removing it. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the dust cover because the one that was on there originally ripped up. So, I mean, it does help when removing it again, putting just anti-seize like you would normally get for like any other bolt, the copper looking stuff. But let me go get a new gasket and upstream oxygen sensor. Got my new gasket here and a new oxygen sensor. This is my $69 mistake. So I'm gonna get this installed after the fact, and I'm gonna go ahead and get all these parts transferred over, and we'll just get a viewing of me installing the new transfer case. And I am gonna shoot this with some copper spray, because I remember I put a transfer case in the vehicle a while ago, and unfortunately it leaked around the housing a little bit despite putting a new gasket on it. I don't want that, so I'm gonna shoot it and have a little bit of insurance. So back in, just like so. So now I'm gonna get one bolt in here, lower it down, and get everything installed in reverse order. Alright, truck's done. That's out of here. It's out the garage. Unfortunately, did have some problem with the oxygen sensor. I mean, things happen. You know, you can't live that crisp fix reality. Things break, and in a perfect world, hey, what can you do about it? Even though oxygen costs like $69, kind of cut my profits. I'll make it up in some way, but at least, you know, the customer's taken care of, and you know, the truck is knocked out. They got a 3-year warranty on it. I'm just kind of perturbed as to why the transfer case didn't come with any fluid. It logically don't make any sense. You know, depending on where you order from, they'll give you fluid. But for some strange reason, you know, my parts store didn't give me fluid. And, well, not just the parts store, it's just the company that they order through didn't provide any fluid. You know, I would imagine it would inhibit the performance of the part if they rebuild the part for certain specifications, or it to last a specific time frame. You know, if somebody put the wrong fluid in there, are they still going to honor the warranty? I mean, the warranty still could be avoided being utilized if they provided them with the fluid that they trusted. You know, hey, things happen. But this is fixed. The transfer case is in there. It's new, 3-year warranty. This is going back to them and as a core. Other than that, you know, I wish the best of luck to anyone having to put a transfer case in. It's not that bad, honestly. It's just, you know, I should have took my time doing it and see what happens when you take your time. Like, I broke something and it cost me $69 breaking this thing that I broke. So it happens. So other than that, hey, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe link. Stay informed. Have that reassurance in my work. I'll see you on the next one.